Hello everybody, this is Lizzie with Lizzie Papery, and I need your help as usual, because guess what? I have things I should be doing and things that I've been doing instead, which is fine. I mean, all of it is necessary and good, but there's things you're waiting for. So one thing I'm working on right now is packing up some Americana Ephemera packs that I sell on my Etsy shop, which is DizzyLizziePapery.etsy.com. Dizzy, Lizzie, and Papery all end in IE. And the dilemma I'm having right now is that these cellophane packages that I have in my inventory right now are a little smaller than what I probably need for this, but I'm going to try to make it work because they are what I have a lot of right now. And so I have two of these packed up. I did a bunch a couple weeks ago and they have sold. Thank you so much. I hope that you are loving all of the goodies that come in these. And I think I did those in a slightly bigger cello bag, so I want to fit the same amount of stuff into this smaller bag. And if I can't, I'll do, when I go to send it, I'll send it in two packages. But anyway, I need your help finishing these up in order to move on to the next thing, which is I want to do a flip through of my finished personal junk journal, and then show you the beginning of my next one. I don't know if I'll do that all in one video because I have technological difficulties every time I film lately. But we'll see what we can get through. I like to do the long form only because doing this helps me finish projects, and I have the time today, so we'll see if I can make this into one video or not. But this is my current junk journal, and it's too big for my hand to grab comfortably, so that's my sign to be that it is done. So I want to do a flip through of that, but in order to do that successfully, I need to make space on this particular workstation, and then here's the start of building my next personal junk journal that we can do together by tape hinging just a bunch of junk that I've started. So that would be like the third part. So the first part is packing up Americana Ephemera packs. Second part is flip through of my personal journal. Third part is creating my next personal journal. Okay. So I have collected the papers for the ephemera packs, and my ephemera packs I list as mixed media because I like to put bits of all kinds of things in it and fabrics. And for the two packs that I have already started filling, you can see that they're full of lots of different papers, but I haven't even done the fabric yet except for a couple little bits. So I have to do the fabric and the lace for these. And I put this little bit here because I need to still cut a couple other pieces of this wallpaper border for these other two packs. So one of these packs is already sold and needs to ship out like later today or tomorrow. So I have to get this done. And then the two others will be in my inventory. I'm always making them, so they're always going to look a little bit different, and I try to update the photos on my Etsy to match all the things you're going to see here, but yeah, I guess that was the other reason I decided to film packing these, is because if I take a picture of it already packed like this, I mean, you can see some wonderful stuff, and you can see how much it weighs, and you can see, you know, that it is full to the brim of authentic Americana ephemera. But I thought I would package this third one up with you so you could actually see every single little thing that I pick. So let's see, let's just get going, right? I have a little baggie here for some smaller bits, which I've just put this like vintage transferware Raggedy Ann and Andy sticker in each of these for these packs. And then there's some glittery star puffy stickers in there. That's what started that, and then I'll have some other little bits in this pile that we'll put in here, and then hopefully I find some other stuff we put in there. I recently thrifted this vintage book of botanicals, and I partially fussy cut this one out, but I've fussy cut a flower for each of the packs. A tulip is not necessarily an American flower, but the red and white I thought would look great in an Americana journal, if or any journal, if that's what your you know, your particular project might be. And that's another good thing to say, is that the things I put in here can be used in any journal. It doesn't have to be Americana themed. You know, just one piece of this can go in any journal you're working on, or any project, really. It's mixed media. So this is from a vintage book called The Golden Book of America. I don't know if I should go through the history of each of these bits, but because I won't remember it, and I didn't bring the books close to me to remember all the names. But I'll do my very best. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below, and I'll be able to get you all of the information about the sources of these products. On that note, I thrift 98% of the things that I resell. Occasionally I'll put in something like a sticker that is not authentic vintage, or I mean, it's new or it's modern, but most everything is vintage thrifted, but we'll go through that. So this book, I can't remember the dates. I want to say it was printed in the 70s. And it is so much history, and it is glorious. I showed it in a previous Americana video, actually the one where I build the Scrappy Patchy USA. If you want to check that video out, a lot of the sources for the products in that journal, which did sell recently, thank you so much, you can see the sources for a lot of this material. But the things that went in that book are part of what's in this ephemera pack. So this is from that book, and it's showing replications of authentic advertisements and historical documents, but it's on this really great matte card paper. So these could be cut out or turned into a page by themselves. Now this page is a little bit big for my bag, maybe. Let's see if we can get it in here, and we'll just start with it. And I know that's going to be a little bit shiny in the video, so I'll try not to blind you. But that is the start, and we'll put this gorgeous flower in. Oh, you must fit. You must. It's not going to fit. Wait. Maybe like this. Okay. I think I can cut it down ever so slightly. Let's see. I have the shakes, of course. I could just shave this end off here. And maybe this too. And I could fussy cut the whole thing out, but I didn't want it to be, I didn't want it to get damaged in transit, but also I thought you could use it as a page as it is, like this, and tape hinge it in or tip it in with tape. Or you could fussy cut it to make it part of a page as well. Maybe putting it in the bag is not going to be fun for you to watch, but I have to get it done. So if you don't mind, maybe fast forward through these parts. I'm going to have to cut off part of the leaf or something. Just don't have the bigger bags right now. I think I can cut a bit more of this off. Just a bit more. It's still absolutely gorgeous. Of course, the other botanicals that I put in the other two bags fit perfectly. So I should have maybe filmed one of those. Nope, it's not going to fit, you guys. I'm going to have to put a different one in or cut it some more. I can't. Oops. So yeah, if this is terrifying to watch, please fast forward or jump ahead. I don't mind cutting off some of the leaves for my own fussy cuts when I have to, but I don't know if you hate that as the buyer. Nope, still not gonna fit. Okay, let's see. So essentially this little leaf here, and actually this stem doesn't look like it's part of this flower. So I could take this little leaf out. Let's see. Do you guys like or hate fussy cutting? Because I love it. I don't usually do it with these huge scissors, but okay, let's see if that helped us. I think so. Sometimes I love fussy cutting, and then I get tired, or my hand gets tired. I have arthritis, and I am fortunate that it doesn't bother me all the time, but if I do too much fussy cutting, it definitely will flare up. We're good. We're good. Okay. Maybe. So here's part of the process of selling. I'm just determined that someone gets this gorgeous red and white tulip because it's fabulous. And I forget the name of that book too, but oh, look at how great those look together. That is really awesome collage. Ooh. Okay. Oof. Okay, that's done. Now we've got a couple of pieces from the Charles Wasaki Greatest Hits book. I forget exactly what it's called, but he did wonderful, like, colonial Americana art, and those make fantastic pages. We've got a little bit of Mary Engelbreit. This is a smaller bit, so I'm just going to set it aside with other smaller bits for a moment. This is from a vintage book from the 70s called Our Presidents, and this particular image I cut out, I did also cut out the caption so you could see what it was. President Tyler's granddaughter Mary was a fairy hostess at her 3rd birthday party. Her friends and children of cabinet members were invited. It's a great image. So that's together with these red, white, and blue Mary Engelbreit characters. We've got a couple of vintage playing cards. We've got a postcard of a, I don't know, is that the Ford? It is from 1964, post-dated, and it was from a car company called Heiser Ford in Milwaukee. Just a reminder that I would like to be of service to you and your friends and all your automobile needs. It's funny. You get protection reserve with Pennzoil Z7 motor oil. So yeah, 1964 postcard. This is a souvenir postcard of Washington's headquarters, and then, which has a great American flag there. It's one of those, like a lithographic image, and then an old schoolhouse image on the other side. Interior of old camp schoolhouse. And this souvenir postcard says 3222, a glimpse of Automobile Road to Cave of the Winds, Manitou, Colorado. Has a great patina color to it and blank on the other side. We've got a vintage recipe from 1974 for barbecue beans on one side and Skid Road stroganoff on the other. Stroganoff is not American, but barbecue beans, I think. Cowboy. And speaking of cowboys, I've got the front page of this amazing children's book. I Want to Be a Cowboy, and it's from 1960. Has this great log cabin image on this side, and the cowboy on this side, but I also liked that it had the old library insignia, State of Wisconsin, property of, with a title, stamp, and then the St. Thomas Aquinas Library, the handwritten number stamp there. I thought that was cool. And these are not fitting. Oh, that'll fit. Let's put that in. Sometimes I try to make the papers look pretty. It turns out, as long as I'm careful, they look pretty, like, no matter what, because they're all amazing. Come on. I'm going to have to do a separate package for the fabrics, I think. Okay, so here's our pile of little papers and cards, and then this is our pile of the ultra littles that'll go in there. Okay. I thrifted these vintage routing forms recently, 2 pads of them, and I just thought the font was cool, and you don't, well, I don't know if anyone uses things like this, but the paper is nice. This is an old, it's actually about weapons, but it the font is super cool, and the paper is very cool. This is a vintage little golden book page about the Wild West. So that's 4 images in this one, and this is in each of these 3 packs. Postmen bring the mail today. 100 years ago, mail was carried by the Pony Express, which started in Missouri. The ponies had to cross mountains and deserts. It took them 8 days to reach California. Not much has changed, it turns out. The timing. So we'll put those in. I didn't mean for there to be a barbecue. For there to be a cowboy theme, but we've got cowboy, and the barbecue beans. I found this vintage wrapping paper of Sunbonnet Sue quilted patterns with the old fabrics. This is from a 1902 book on etiquette, and there's a section on patriotism and war, which not all the wording in it is wonderful, but the paper is amazing, and it is American, antique. This is from a discontinued Vera Bradley address book, and the colors are awesome. Let's put these in here. Okay, here's another little paper. These are, you can see it's like a linen paper card. It was like a book of these sketch artworks. And it was vintage, but I don't remember the date. But this one in particular, so there's a different old building in each of the packs. This one is the imposingly beautiful Memorial Hall, built as a gymnasium in 1893 on the campus of St. John's Military Academy in Delafield, Wisconsin. It was designed by architect John Matter of Milwaukee, and a good example of shingle-style architecture. Native stone incorporated into the lower part of the building. So all of it is Americana history. That goes into our smaller pile here. This one, there's something special in each pack. Of course, they're all different, but this is from that book on our presidents also. And it was a full page, but one of the pages wasn't, or the back side of the page wasn't as great as this one, which was about the first railway train in Pennsylvania. And it was, this is the inventor, Old Ironsides. And I sewed, so I took the top of the back page and I sewed it on top of the other part of this page. Gosh, I don't know how to explain that. But I sewed it along here for 2 pockets if it's folded, so you can see the 2 pockets here, and then that's folded into a small bit. This was from our presidents as well. General Zachary Taylor in full uniform on this side. And this was interesting. The Pioneers' 10 Commandments. So you can read all about it. It was very cool. Pictured here are scenes showing the dangers and hardships faced by the 49ers gold mining in California. And they had written their own commandments. I've got some fussy cut Norman Rockwell. And this I did attach by paperclip the caption for it. It was called Fishing Lesson, and it was from the Saturday Evening Post. It was the cover on August 3rd, 1929. And they were fishing. And that looks cool. These look cool in particular on like a really large page of old book. And then I thought they would look cool perhaps with a doily cover behind them, or with some, like a solid scrap paper behind them. And then what you can do, I'm trying to think of where I put it, but I made one the other day. Let me find it. I actually took an image like this and I put it on a bigger sheet of paper behind it, and then I sewed along the edges so then it can be a pocket behind this image. And it's a great way to use huge images in books that are, you know, sometimes we think the book is too big or the image is too big to use, but these books are discarded, and I usually find them in like the Goodwill outlet bins, and I want to, you know, give them this new life, as most of us do. Let me see if I can find where I put that example. And I should have had that ready for you. I'm sorry. There is an example of it also in that flip through video of the Scrappy Patchy USA Americana journal, where I also, from the same Norman Rockwell book, I had fussy cut his image of the Statue of Liberty, and I put that on top of old Reader's Digest pages, which of course a lot of us junk journal creators love to repurpose old Reader's Digest books because the covers are so cool, the vintage ones, like the 70s and earlier, where the paper is like this, which I put some in this pack. And it just looks, it's just a really cool use for both the pages inside the Reader Digest books. If we're, you know, if we're reusing the cover for journals, then what do you do with all the insides, you know? So it was I mean, I didn't invent this idea. I'm sure I saw it somewhere, but it's a great reuse idea. I'm currently flipping through my box of papers, and I would adjust my camera so you could see, but I will surely press a button. Okay, no luck in that pile, but I'm determined to show you this now. Pretty sure I put it in here. Sorry, I wish I could say, please hold. Here it is. Okay, so I had thrifted recently this 1980s book of scrapbook paper, and which has the cool marbling that's a reproduction of the marbling of really old books. And I fussy cut this image out of this gal who's missing the dance because she's sick. And it was the post cover from January 23rd, 1937, again by Norman Rockwell. And so hopefully you can see, I stitched here and I stitched along the bottom, and then I did this small bit of stitching here and along the pattern of the fussy cut, and then this is still open, so this could be a kind of a hidden pocket, and rather deep, so you know you can hide your journal entries in there or your collectible wonderful things. I love that. I love that image. So that's an example of what you could do with the fussy cut images I've put in each of these packs. And then while we're at it, I tried to find red, white, and blue scrapbook paper. Again, I thrift it all, so it's what's available at either craft reuse stores or Goodwill or the Goodwill outlet bins. I've not had luck with scrapbook paper books at the Goodwill outlet bins lately, but a year ago I was able to find like almost entire books of scrapbook paper. My sister actually thrifted these really cool cardstock, so I think I put gold or silver in each pack. We've got vintage map bits. It's not a whole map, but it's enough that would make a great journal page with folding pages. It could even be a Constantina accordion journal all by itself if you wanted. This is Oregon, it looks like, and usually I write the date on it or it says the date on it. And this one, I did not write the date on. Most of these were from the 60s. And if I Google lensed it, I could probably find that. But you can tell that they are vintage. The color is cool. And these, like, if I were doing a yellow ephemera pack, this is another type of thing I would add into a yellow pack, is because if you're doing a yellow theme, you might just need some background bits, you know, with a hint of yellow, or you might need a hint of mint green or a hint of blue. These make for great background pages. Oh, and then here's the pages from Reader's Digest. This one, I think, I wish I could remember the date, but most of mine are the 40s and 50s, the Reader's Digests that I've been able to find. Let me make sure that I'm not, I just want to protect that glorious flower. Okay, I'm just going to put this on top here. Now I've got a paper clip in there that might mess us up, but isn't it just a pretty pack of paper? I love paper so much. Okay, so then I thrifted, oh, I could not believe this find, these red, white, and blue doilies of 3 different sizes. Aren't those amazing? And then I have these vintage lacy doilies too, so I put these 4 doilies in each pack. They do have to fold slightly, which then, of course, if you make it a page in a journal, it makes a great pocket if you sew it or glue it in. Or, you know, you can cut off part of it to use as the trim of a page. And then I want to put some more papers in this folded bit here. This is vintage stationery from the Jean and Hazel estate, which I try to talk about in all of my videos. It was over a year and a half ago that I went to an estate sale on a whim. I had time, it was really close by, and it turned out that the gal who had passed was a sewist and a mom, and she collected vintage dolls and she made doll clothes, and so she, almost all of my sewing collection was hers, and her name was Jean, and her aunt was Hazel. I'm pretty sure it's her aunt, and she must have inherited a lot of Hazel's things when Hazel passed because, I mean, she had entire chests of very old fabrics, which you'll see because that's some of the fabric that I'll put in these packs as well. Very old fabrics. They quilted. They made doll clothes, like I said. So it's an incredible part of my collection is from that estate. But this isn't like very, very vintage, but I think it's like 80s or 90s stationery. And I just love that it's the blue butterfly with these red rose flowers. This is mulberry paper. Let's see, should these go in a smaller pile of small stuff? Actually, these cards can go in the little pack there. I get distracted easily. Okay, so the mulberry paper. This is from a 1953 Coronet magazine, and it's got an advertisement on it and a bit of one of the stories in it. This is vintage scrapbook paper that is just red and kind of creamy white that I thought was cool. This is vintage stationery, and it's actually not American made, but it is a blue hue, and this little boy or girl, I suppose it could be, and the little dog. I've been collecting vintage stationery. This is another cool piece of fiber paper in red. And this is from 1958 Work Basket magazine, which was kind of a ladies' journal for sewing and projects. Not just for ladies, of course, but it did seem to be, you know, advertised toward ladies. So we've got some great 1950s ads. It says the date here, 1958. And then we've got part of an old Kenmore sewing machine instruction manual. And this is the cover, so it's nice cardstock, and it has this Sears Roebuck and Company note about the Kenmore zigzag sewing machine. Sears Roebuck and Company, Chicago, Illinois. And let's see, let's be tucking these in here, and we're gonna tuck these in, but I think I might have to fold those. I had to fold the doilies for the last pack that I put together, so I'm just gonna fold them ever so slightly. I'm sorry. If you're a scrapbooker, you know, it probably really makes you cringe to see the doilies folded. So I'm sorry about that. But for junk journaling, often it's, you know, we don't mind the folded goodies. So I really try to keep things as whole as possible so you can do whatever you like. Bone folder here. And we're going to come up on that paper clip. Oh, it might just clip right in. So if you buy one of these, it is smart to let it come out on its own, like pour it out. All right, we've got more. We have got a vintage 2000 photograph of the let's see, Flint Hills, it says. Cool kind of farmland picture there. We have got a postcard, the Skyview Lodge, top of the Ozarks, which I thought would be Missouri, but I think it's Arkansas. Skyview Lodge, restaurant, gift shop, cabins, the highest lodge in the Ozarks, between Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Fort Smith, Arkansas. So that vintage postcard. We have got a postcard of the Smithsonian Castle in Washington, D.C. These were printed in 1997, these postcards. And of course we have got our Washington Monument. Same thing, 1997. And the back of it has a watermark of the Capitol building on both of those, which is a cool background too. Kind of changed my view of the camera so that you have as close to my view of the desk as possible, but I tend to move over a little bit, so I'm sorry about that too. We've got a vintage receipt with the yellow backing, and I'm going to move this out of the main view so you're not blinded. There we go. Okay. Tuck that in with the littles. 1948 little advertising calendar sheet. We've got a vintage coaster of some kids in red, white, and blue. We have got a vintage Hasbro $20 bill. That in there. We have got a vintage Las Vegas Circus souvenir coupon. Free souvenir with coupon at time of purchase of $1 or more, but it excludes tobacco. At any Circus Las Vegas gift shop. These I found were from, I do have that here. They were from these little booklets that I thought I had a date for. Please hold a moment. I do have it somewhere. Well, anyway, they're from the 80s, I think. And I was going to put entire booklets in, but then my sister found some really great casino themed fabric, so I thought I might, someday do a Vegas or gambling themed journal. And so I need to keep some of the booklets for that. But I put the pages in. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm sorry. I was sure it was right here. This is where all my little bits are. Anyway, I think they were from the 80s. So there is that coupon. Then we have our early 1900s grocery receipts from C&P Farrington, Cardington, Ohio. This one doesn't have the 1900s date, but these were all from 1906, 1907, and 1908. Most of the ones that have the year written, I have already put into packets that I sell by themselves. You can buy a package of 10 of them. I think I have them for $8 on my site. And all of the ones in that packet will have the year on them, but these are the ones Don't have the year written, but they're still super cool. They've got the hole in them from where the pharmacist or grocer would have put them on that, you know, spindle thing. And let's see, this one says, looks like it says 9.5 eggs for $1.90. Sugar, 25 cents. Something else. Pepper, 5 cents. So they spent $1.35 there, even though that says $1.90. They must have had maybe a store credit or something. I do leave this one, the packets that I sell, I have somewhat straightened, but they do still curl a little bit. But you can decoupage them onto something or glue them down on something. I've had really, really good success. But I'm going to leave it curled so you get the authentic part of it. But they're not like dainty. Some of them are a little brittle, and I didn't usually put those in the packets to the best of my ability. That goes in there. Then I have this quilted star from a runner that I rescued from the Goodwill Outlet bins. And there was some, I washed it. It was already pretty worn, which is probably why someone donated it, but I love that. And I love how soft it is. And the runner had these stars kind of hanging off either edge of it, which was really cute, but there was some staining on the main part of the runner. I got most of it out in my washing, but not enough of it to keep it whole as a runner. So I have made it into little bits, and I think it's super cute for any journal, again, but especially Americana. So we'll tuck that in there. That looks cute. Okay, then we have got officers' insignia from, I believe, the Army. Insignia of titles and rank. This was printed, I think, in the 50s, this book. You might have seen me work in this one before, and it might not have a date. Oh, 1944. Very cool. So that's this one. Oh, I haven't chosen buttons for these either. You know what? Let me write this down. I need a piece of paper. Is it ever hard for you to find a piece of paper when we specialize in paper? Please hold a moment. All right, so I need to cut this, the wallpaper border. And I also want to cut bits of the Schumacher wallpaper. I'm going to call it Americana wallpaper. Oops. And it needs buttons, and it needs fabric still, and lace. So you can see I go over the top with collecting the paper, but I need to do all of these things. I better put some, like, check off so I remember there's 5 things I still need to do for these. All right, let's put that there in front of my face. Whoops, I might have just hit the camera, sorry. Okay. If I forgot to say it at the beginning, part of what I like to film for is because talking it out helps me get it done for some reason. And so I really appreciate you hanging out, and I hope that you enjoy it and maybe get inspired by something. We've got some 1950s Hallmark, the little freebie calendar bit. They used to give those out, I think, at store counters. This is cool. This is V-Mail from 1944. This one says October 2nd, but it doesn't say 1944. Oh, it says it up here in the date. But it is from a soldier writing to their parents in Milwaukee from, at this time they were in Germany. And I have other bits of this collection where they were in Holland. So I know that they at least lived through the part that they were in Germany during World War II. But it is authentic. The paper feels like, I don't know, maybe vintage photo paper, kind of. But it must have been the way that they transmitted this mail. One of my viewers helped explain that a bit to me. A collectible memorabilia, historical. A vintage children's book. I liked this page because the colors are red, white, and blue. This was published in 1947. And I'm realizing there's not a lot of children's images yet in this pack. So I might have to go make sure I've got... Well, we're not done, so we'll see. I tried to put at least 2 in. This is authentic United States Army. What's the word I'm looking for? Know ye that, reposing special trust and confidence in the fidelity and abilities of Sergeant Lester Fraser, I do hereby appoint him Sergeant Class something of the United States Army on the 6th day of March, 1919. So this is authentic antique memorabilia. 1919, so that had to be almost World War I. 1912? Oof. Pardon my historical. I do research this stuff, but then I can't remember it. This is from a book of American art prints. And this one on the... wait. American Farm Scene. Courier and Ives. Daniel Webster. 1840 is when this image was done. This book was called The Beauty in America and was printed, I think, in the 70s. This was... I don't know where this image is from, but it came from the Art Museum of St. Louis. Those are very cool. Uh-oh. Come on. Let's see my struggles. Start starting to get full there. Okay, here's a full page Norman Rockwell. Oh, we've got our cowboy again. The Cowboy, it's called. This was the post cover in 1927, August 13th. And I left this page whole, so you can fussy cut that out, or you can fussy cut one of these classic images. The Marble Shooter from 1939 and the High Diver from 1947. That, of course, is not going to fit. So I am going to fold it. Sorry. I will try to fold it right there. That could be a page just as it is. I've got some vintage stationery. It says just a note and has a little house on it. We've also got this all-service identification guide, United States Armed Forces. I think this was everybody. I never found a date on it, but we were pretty sure it was the 50s. Got United States Army, some more insignia. Oh, and the monthly pay. That was very interesting to read. It does say, note, at the time this booklet went to press, all insignia were included on which information was available. Illinois Commercial Men's Association. But it doesn't say what that date was that it went to print. Okay, here's another children's illustration. This is from a, I think, antique book on American inventions. And it's one of those cool kids stamp page where it's like a sticker stamp and they would go in and match the sticker up with the spaces. And the colors are really cool. Okay, so that's another children's image. There we go. But that reminds me also, stamps. I have authentic stamps to put in. All right, so some of the little stuff I'm going to do will go in this packet still, which I have to do for all of these. So let's take that little packet out. And this packet out. So did I show these already? These are the other two packets that I filled of the same goodies we went through. So let me find my stamps. I did recently do some reorganizing in this room. So not everything is where I always kept it. Oh! As I hit my head on the camera, stand by just a moment. So I have got stamp collections from both the 90s, which is what these are from. I'm trying to remember the year. Oh. These were a collection from 1996 and 1997. And they were 32 cents. that time. These three are strips, which are like collectible in the whole strip, but I think I was taking these apart. The 4 Centuries of American Art. I have another request for an artsy trash journal that I'm going to save at least one of those for, but I've got enough. I've got enough to go around. So these then are, well, this is from the 90s. All of the 32s are from the 90s. But then I've got very old ones also. 90s. So maybe I'll do one of each. One from the 90s and one from the very old. Oh, there's more of the American art. So I've got plenty for the artsy fartsy trash book. All right, 32 cents. 32 cents. Okay, here's a 13-cent Valley Forge. That will go in one of the packs. We've got the 13-cent. Oh, so these were from the 70s, I think. And then I have older ones in here too, like these 1-cent collectibles. Here's an 8-cent. Rise of the Spirit of Independence. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me show these. So this will go in one, and this will go in one. And I've got a 15-cent National Parks and a 15-cent Progress in Electronics. Here's some more 32 cents. 10 centers. I'm waiting to get inspired here. I've got some old Sperry grocery stamps. That's different. Here's Copernicus, 8 cents. Ooh, 100th anniversary of mail order, 8 cents. That's going to go in this one. Okay, so that's 3 very old collectible stamps. Not very old, but pretty old. Look at these. While we're here, my mom just sent me these. These were in some old documents from my grandmother. Oh, geez, sorry. 1 cent omnibus. It says 1880s. I don't know what year these were from, but it is 1 cent. So these are for my keeping. They were in my grandmother's documents. And just to show you some more of the collection, here's an old 1 cent. When I collect postcards and old letters and old envelopes, I keep the stamps and everything intact to the best of my abilities. Sometimes I get postcards where someone else has removed the stamp, but I don't do that. I'm not collecting stamps to resell them, unless I just know offhand that something is very, very valuable, then maybe I would, but really I'm collecting them for what we do. So I will keep them on a postcard or a letter or an envelope. If they're missing from something that I include in a product I make for you, I didn't remove that myself. I will try to keep it together. And most of the postcards that I include that do have a postmark, I will always try to have one with a stamp to the best of my ability. But this stamp was by itself in a bucket of buttons at an estate sale warehouse. So of course I grabbed it. And there was one like this that is very valuable. I don't think this is it. So if anyone's watching who collects stamps, if this is the very, very valuable one, I don't know if you'd be willing to tell me. Or willing to buy it. Gosh, I get distracted by my own collection. Okay, so as you can see, there's enough go around, and I think I'll choose one of these. This is a 32-cent, I have to take my glasses off to read this. George Caleb Bingham, 1811, 1879. This was printed in 1998. 32 cents. And then it says a little bit of information on the back of it. That will go in one. We have got George Catlin art. I might keep this for my American history journals and my Southwest journals with the Pueblo art. Okay, I'll keep that one. We've got Franz Klein and Mark Rothko. Let's do one of each of those. If there's stamp collectors out there, I hope I'm not, you know, destroying the Holy Grail. Hopefully these will get new life in someone's book. Let's see what else we have. We have Cinco de Mayo. We have Remember the Maine. Oh, that's cool. Look at this. Oh, this is so cool. The Alfred Hitchcock. But it's got, can you see this, like, the cut image of his silhouette, which is so famous? On the top left corner. Do you see that? Isn't that interesting? I thought that was very cool. I've never seen that before. I wonder if these should get another one. Wisconsin, that's for me. Yeah, let's do another of these very cool artwork ones. So there's some modern art in each of those, and some not so modern art in that one. So we'll do not so modern art there, and we'll do a not modern. In this one, so then we need a modern art for that one. Oof, these are so cool. Okay. Oof. I do have a tendency sometimes to overthink things. I have ADHD, if you haven't watched me before. So it is hard for me to concentrate sometimes. There we go. Okay. That is the stamps. Then we need lace. Okay. Oops. All right, so this is very cool old JCPenney lace bolt. Here, there was this cool, look at the old pennies tag. Oops. Guess I kind of messed up that pin a little. So I like to try to put in enough that it would be, you know, like a greeting card size trim. So there's one. Two and three. This was at my local St. Vinny's thrift store. Oh man, rolling over stuff here. I have a temperature dysregulation problem, and oops, apparently I've run into the camera problem. Okay, and so I have to put something over my vents in this room so that I don't freeze. But then there will be times that I'm sweating, so I don't want to close the vent. Let's put the stamps in here. Let's see, we're at 1 hour and 13 minutes. So I might, I don't know how long this will go. I do have to plug in my little mirror camera. Hold on one second. Okay. Oh, isn't this looking so cute, just as it is? Maybe I should do little packs. Okay, then we'll do a doily, a little doily in each. Running out of little doilies. Gonna have to do some more thrifting. This one I'll keep attached to the bits. This lace is vintage crocheted lace, and I love, like, it reminds me of the banner we might hang on our front porch at 4th of July time. Ooh, I'm getting low. There we go. That's the end of it. Someone's getting 5. And because this person's getting the outside of this, I will add this to this one. And then this one will get something extra as we're going. Alright, so that was the doily lace. And then this is vintage as well with this blue edge. Isn't that lovely? This makes great slow stitching projects. You can add this to you know, a tote bag or a fiber arts collage project. It has a little stain on it there, which is typical of this old lace, but I'll find a piece that doesn't have a stain. stain. Okay. And the stain one becomes mine. So as you can see that I'm cutting these fresh, there may be some fibers in the bottom of your, you know, package because they just came off the bolt, essentially. Oh my gosh, these are gorgeous. Okay. Now, which one was it that needed something extra? Let's see. We'll do a bit more of this tatted lace for this one in the middle. When I bought this, I thought I will surely not go through this, but I actually, this bolt was like overflowing with it. So I've used it in a lot of projects, and I've put it in lots of freebie packs and cell packs, and I spent more on it than I usually do, but it is so cool. And really, I love that JCPenney's tag. Okay, then we're going to do our, oh wait, lace is done. Just like that. Okay, let's do buttons next, because that's easy. The fabric is going to be harder, so let me just put these here so you can continue to see the collection as it's going. And we'll do our buttons here. Oops. Sorry. That is how paranoid I get about trying to keep my surface clean here. These I've been putting in freebie packs. Okay, let's see. We've got some blue. Some folks like to see my button box. Oh, I'm so sorry if I keep hitting that camera. Maybe I need a new spot. Not right now. Blue. I think they call these like raspberry buttons. I'm not sure. I might have just made that up. I'm still working on my forest floor journals too, just so you know. But like I said, I have to get one of these Americanas out right away, so I figured I would do 2 more for inventory. I know that the holiday's over, but I think we still love to do our Americana journals and even those pieces of it for a while. Maybe you're still working on a journal from the holiday or a scrapbook. And you need some little bits. My buttons are collected from wherever I can. A lot of them I get from estate sales. I do wash them. I got a great collection at a garage sale recently. Okay, so what I want to do red, white, and blue at least in each. I had a lot of red buttons at one time, and I went through them pretty quickly, but I've got some more here. Is that red or orange? It's orange. Some of them I got at Goodwill. At a, I forget which one I went to, but they had a whole... It looked like a craft store or something had put their old inventory of, I think they're called favorite findings, which I think you can get at Michael's, but they were older, and it must have been someone's collection. They were still in the packages. There's a fabric red one. All right, so this is more of an orange, so let's do a red like this in each. And then this one needs a bigger something. Let's do that dark blue there. And this one needs a dark blue. And this one will do a fabric red. That's pretty. And that's it. Okay. Put them in these packs here. So most of them are vintage. I can't always tell. I do occasionally get a big light button in my mixes, and for a little while I thought, well, those are valuable and I'll sell those, but I don't have time for that. And you know, I want to stay in my lane best I can. Cute, 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 cute. Okay, buttons are done. Buttons. Okay, let's do this wallpaper. So this is cute. It's stars and it's kind of like vintage 90s, and it says, "Bless this home with love and laughter," and kind of has the rustic look. Oh, jeez. Bless this home with love and laughter. Try to get the whole thing in there. You know what? I'm going to use a less dangerous set of scissors for a moment. Slightly less dangerous. Alright, so this one has 2 stars and 2 hearts, and it says the whole quote. This one, that first one, 2 stars and 1 heart, and it says the whole quote, but it's not quite as big, so I'm gonna cut some others. 2 stars, 2 hearts, and the whole quote. So then, something like this, I've made, I've used this wallpaper border as a cover for journals, which is really cute because it's so sturdy. But you can fussy cut the images out, or you can use it on the, you know, on your page, almost like you could just glue it down. I love to find the old wallpaper border. 2 stars. Oh, this one's going to get 3 stars. Cut that one off a little bit. Okay. So let's add those into the packs. Go. 1. 2. And let's see. 3. Okay. Let's see. Alright, so we did the wallpaper border. And the next is the Americana, which is on a huge roll. And that is this 1981 Schumacher print. Oh, that was at an estate sale, a different estate sale. And it was the home of, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. The home of a home decorator. And even though it was, the whole house was a lot of 90s style, 80s and 90s style, it was like the epitome of what is on trend right now, almost. Mixed with, if you just love super colorful, it was like colonial 90s. I don't know, does that make sense? Or primitive 90s. It wasn't, like 90s paint splashed on the wall type of decor. It was all primitives. Country kitchen, kind of, but like, I don't know, it was super cool. So one of the rooms we walked into, one entire wall was covered in this wallpaper. I walked into that room and I was like, oh my gosh, that is the color of primitive colonial Americana that I absolutely adore. It looked so cool, mixed with the different kinds of woods that she had for her decor. I mean, it was like if you were to add the really antique wood and stuff with this, that actually doesn't look that great, does it? But let me see if I can find something else that just like, I don't know, it looks so good with it. I have some metal bits that I'm going to use for some rusty crusty assemblage projects, hopefully. And this looks good with Antique Rusty Crusty. I don't know how to describe how this wallpaper, in my eye, went with like everything that I love. And I'm not going to decorate my house in it or anything, but I just knew I had to have it. And I was about to ask the lady who was running the sale about it, and then I went into this lofted bedroom area, and there were 2 huge rolls of it laying on the bed, and I was like, destiny. So look at this, with this old Gone with the Wind book that I found with the deckled edge. Like, I'm not a decorator, but this is like, you know, if you did a red, white, and blue journal of these kind of tones, it's like, it's just gorgeous together. There's something about that that just, I don't know, makes my eye happy, even though it's weird and kooky, and I don't know, you don't see it very often. And let me know if you also like it. I'm going to put a bit of it in each of these packages. This was my reminder snippet. And so yeah, on the other side of it, it says Schumacher, copyright 1981, made in the USA, run number 14, and this was the product number. I don't think I have found it online, and I didn't recognize it as such when I first saw it, but these could be roosters, I thought. So if that's like, in the room that she had it on the wall, roosters were not the theme or anything, so it wasn't like it has to be. But it would go with a farm theme, an Americana theme, colonial or primitive. So let me see, I think I've got about 3 pieces here. And wallpaper makes for really great covers. I think I said that already. You might have to, because this one, oh, jeez, this one curls a bit. You might have to attach it to something else, like craft paper or cardstock. So I am going to fold it so that it's like a page. That isn't like super loud. Oh, I wonder if I have my journal. You know what? Let me show you my, I used it in my Christmas Dingy December journal. Let me go get that and I'll show you. Have it in here. I thought I had it right here. It would be the only journal of mine I don't have right here. So let me go find it. I'm going to pause this for a moment. Wish me luck that I don't lose you. If I do, thank you for being here, and I will have a part 2 and a part 3. Well, friends, you have witnessed it here today. I have lost a journal. I've lost it. And I believe my mind is with it, wherever it is. So, you've seen it here. I cannot find my December Dingy, and I know it was just recently that I saw it, and just recently I have been organizing a lot because I closed my little bookshelf resale store and brought all of that inventory home, and so I have been trying to organize. And I don't know where I would have put that one. There is a place where all my personal journals are, which inspired me to think, would you be interested in a flip through of all of my personal journals? And maybe that would be something I film soon. If you would like to see it, it is on my Instagram and on YouTube. The December Dingy Dainty, I think. I couldn't decide what to call it. Typical. And I'm baffled now and can't stop thinking about where it could be. But anyway, I used this in it a lot, little bits of this, and it was really fun to use. So I made it, you know, kind of Christmassy. And maybe you'll hate that journal, I don't know, but it's a place to see how I have used it. How I use this wallpaper. I have learned that after I bought that roll of this wallpaper, that it's way more than I could possibly ever need. So I should probably be stuffing more of it into these bags if you like it. So let me know if you like it, and I can do it sounded bad how I said that. I'm totally distracted now. I'm sorry. That's not how I meant it. However I said it is not how I meant it. What I meant was, if you like it, please let me know, because I have a lot of it. And I could do maybe some wallpaper packs for sale. Like, I see that online, like antique wallpaper scraps, and I love those because they're like super special and you don't see them very much. But the wallpapers I have are like all pretty 90s country kitchen, which I love too, but I don't know if that's something everybody wants. So let me know. I use them as pages inside journals. I have a gingham print wallpaper journal. There's still 2 of them available for sale, which are, it's like a gingham border with a floral, this is them. This one isn't done yet. With a floral framed piece. Oh, come on, Liz. Get your words back. Where I've done, you know, my eclectic papers, I sew a fabric to the inside of them, and then that's kind of the border, and it's really scrappy and fun. But they feel cool. Like, I don't know how to explain the pillowness that comes from attaching wallpaper to fabric and papers like that. These kinds of wallpapers. I don't have any more of that gingham wallpaper other than what I have to still sew into some journals. If you like that one, let me know. Like I said, there's still 2 journals for sale on my Etsy in that motif. The floral covers are typically different. But then I have pink ribbon wallpaper, and I have like a vintage country kitchen fruit wallpaper and a vintage country, almost like a fancy, here's the pink ribbon. This is a rough piece because I'm using it for scraps, but the pink ribbon wallpaper looks like this. There's just a little bit of that left, and I have some journals to make with that as the cover. And then the other wallpaper, though, is wherever my mind has gone. But it's like, it's really fancy and pretty. It's like pink and silver, and it almost looks like ribbon put together. I should just stop talking now. Anyway, it's really pretty. So there's that. Oh, and then of course I have these that could be in it as well. I had 2 rolls of this, and I just sold the whole other roll. But I have this much of this roll, so I could put bits of this in there. That's really like on trend right now for 90s kitchen. Then there's this one, which I put this in my pink packs. This is a little stickier. It's like a self-adhesive, so it's kind of like extra wide washi. I put this in the pink packs. I think I put this in the pink packs too. And then this one has a cat and a goose and apples and hearts and all those wonderful 90s kitchen. And this is adhesive too, so, or it's like removable adhesive. So I still have to glue it down when I put it on a piece of paper, but those might be great to put in a collection. Let me know what you think, if that would make for a fun collection to buy. All right, back to the task at hand. Americana wallpaper is done. I literally just searched my whole house for that journal. I am gonna have to figure out what happened. Okay, so fabric is a longer process. But I'm going to do it here with you as long as my phone still has power. Let's see how we're doing. Yeah, we're good. I can't remember. I have to look up online real quick the picture that I show on the cover of my Americana pack so that I can kind of remember how I set it up for you. Oh, okay, cool. I even have a picture of the pile. Oh, ribbon, too. I haven't done ribbon. All right, so I did some of this amazing flannel cross stitch. Let me see if I have smaller of this. Okay. Ooh, I have so many good fabrics, you guys. This is fun. But I do not have a smaller. Let's see, I have this one, and this one, some of this, and this, and this one, this one. Oh, here it is. Here's smaller of that one. Then we need some blues. one's cute. It's blue. Sorry for the wait. I hope this is exciting. And the last ones I did a bit of these hankies in each, which is cool. So I'll do that again. And then these, I have more blue somewhere, so let me find. Isn't that fun? Then I need handkerchiefs also, because I did some bit of hanky. As you can see, this is going to get very, very big. Okay, we've also got okay. All right, I think we've got a good mix. Right? Okay. I'm making sure I have enough of each thing. That's so pretty. Okay. This one. This one. This one. these are spoken for. Okay. One more thing I have to look for, you guys. Hold on one second. I swear I'm still here. Don't give up on me. All right. So, on the last ones, I also did this bit of hanky and this bit. I have to cut this off here. This one had some stains on it, and I do, I boil and wash my hanky, so there's no, they're clean, but I know people probably don't want a stained something, but we do like our little scraps, don't we? Aren't those wonderful? Very old, very, very old. All right, so we've got 1, 2, and 3. Now this one, let's see. We've got 3 gorgeous full white hankies that we'll do. Okay, that's what we'll do there. And then we'll do this corner of a hanky for one. We'll do this full hanky that has this transferred forget-me-nots on it on this one, and we'll do this embroidered flower for this one. Can you see those? Yeah. Okay. Oof, good. Then we've got this corner of this, I think it's like a men's hanky. So we'll do that for this one. It has a little hole in it on this one corner, so we'll do this quarter for this one, this quarter for for this one, this quarter for this one, and this has to go into my pile because it has a hole in it. Okay, that's done. This was an apron. I have made so much out of this. I just love it. And so it's got this, the apples and pears on this side, and then the red kind of 90s country check on the other. So that'll be something fun for you to play with. Now this would be better probably for my good scissors, but I'm just, as you can see, I'm doing scraps in here. It's not fancy or gorgeous. It is junk journal deliciousness. Let me get my better scissors. Those scissors are doing pretty good, but these are like incredible. You guys will probably see an injury happen on here. That'll be good clickbait. Watch Liz cut a finger off. Okay, and that one. Okay, and then this one, let's see, it's got, let's see, we've got the eagle, we've got some stars, we've got Old Glory, Land of the Free, some buttons and stars, flag. Alright, we've got 2 of these. Let's do this here. I guess this is called like cheater quilt pattern, because you could stitch around each of the patches and it would look like you know, put the pieces together. I guess they call it cheater, but you definitely don't have to. So there's a piece that'll have lots of fun bits on it. There we go. That's one. And we'll do another one like that. Like I said, I wash all my fabrics, so I know that some crafters, quilters, fabric people, some quilting fabrics are not supposed to be washed before you quilt with them, or something. I'm not sure if that's a real rule. Obviously I don't follow that rule. Not because I don't want to respect it, but because I thrift all my fabrics and I don't know where they've been. So I wash everything. And if it doesn't handle the wash, then I know it might not be something we want to use for our particular crafts. And I try to iron it, but then sometimes when I store it, it can get a little wrinkled, but they are clean, and that is so cool. Look at that. That by itself would make like a great bookmark or tag. I love this kind of ditzy vintage floral. All right, so that's one, and that's two. And so then I only had the 2 eagles, so I think this one gets the flag. can see why I need so much space. And if I were doing just one journal or one ephemera pack, I wouldn't need quite as much space, but I don't know. I would still make just as much of a mess. I just thought it made sense to make a couple more of these packs for my inventory while I have all the things out. Oh, that is so cute too. Very cute, very cute. All right. So I'm just making these. I've sold out of all the packs that I already had online from my recent drop. And then I've sold this other one. So I'll have 2 available. But as you can see, I have enough inventory to make more. I just don't have space, and it takes this much time. But definitely let me know if you're interested, and if they sell out by the time you see this and want them, let me know, because there's lots more where it came from. Fabric in junk journals makes great pockets and belly bands, and little scraps of it can make a great cluster piece. Which is why, like, I'll go to some estate sales and I'll buy the scrap bag from a sewist or quilter, and the people will kind of look at me like, you want a bag of scraps? And yeah, I sure do. Because that's what we're doing. And the thing is that I learned that, I think I said this in my last couple of videos too, that I find fabrics, and sometimes so cheap that like that wallpaper, like I buy the whole roll of it because it's so affordable for me, and it's way too much for me. So that's where it is so nice to share it in this way, and then to make a little bit of money to fund so that I can continue to go out and source the material. I was just talking to a new customer and friend today, or over the weekend, I guess it was, where she lives. It's really hard to even get to a Hobby Lobby. This pile had less of that blue, so I'm going to put more of this in it. So she's appreciative of anything that she can buy on places like Etsy. She's really thankful for Etsy, because although you can buy online from a fabric store or something, you can't get these hard to come by linens or discontinued linens. You know, it's so fun. Let's see, this one, my sister found this one in Kansas City. This is Log Cabin Quilt Collection, Shelburne Museum, by RJR Fashion Fabrics. I don't know what, I didn't look this one up. I don't know what year it is, but isn't that cute with the, kind of looks like fireworks. My sister has definitely been helpful in this mission of mine. She has a great eye, and my nieces help. This one has the selvage, but I made it slightly wider than the others in case anyone is like, that one got more than mine. Would anyone do that? I babysat a lot when I was younger. My sister found this one too, which is like a reproduction of antique pattern. I haven't gotten the antique patterns out yet. Let me just... It's the only problem with dark fabrics. Hopefully you can see that it's threads. I just reorganized them too into a nice drawer system so I can see them all a little bit easier, which helps me be able to use them and sell them. But we all know how hard that is in the crafting world. I'm blessed to have a space at all. I know some of us are doing this out of our dining rooms. My craft room is also our guest room, and my husband built a Murphy bed that unfolds for guests, and then this table that I'm working on now folds up and pushes into the wall all the way. And then my drawers, chests of drawers, are all on wheels or casters, so I can just roll them out of here, and then I fill my dining room with them when people come to visit. Which, then they have a place to sleep, just not a place to eat. Who needs a dining room anyway? I think I said this in another, I can't remember anymore, but these are, I put some brighter colors in these, but most of my collection for Americana is of the colonial primitive, you know, kind of color way, but I'm just making it up. Like, I have no education in this. I see things, I research things, some of these fabrics might not be traditional Americana, but they look or feel, inspire to me, or that they could definitely work in our journals. So hopefully you like that aesthetic. Aesthetic or aesthetic? I'm not sure how to say that. This one, I think the camera, it looks a little bit gray, excuse me, gray, but you could see it's a ditzy red and blue floral. It's really sheer. So it'll pick up whatever colors behind it. It looks good with blue behind it. If you have like a solid blue that you don't want to use because it picks up too much lint or something, that would work. Oop. It's so soft. This I got at an estate sale warehouse recently. It's tucked in the bottom of a bucket of lace. Usually I take the time to look up, you know, my fabrics if they don't have the selvage that tells me about them. Lately I've not had as much time to do that. Let's see, how are we doing here? That's a good mix, really, isn't it? I don't want to make it too heavy because then it gets more expensive. So if there's some fabrics here that you love, that you wish to have in a pack, let me know. This is a good neutral to have. I've got lots of it. I do have to kind of keep that in mind. Oof, what was the person making with that? Pant leg, maybe? Can't really cut that into even pieces, so let's see what I have here. Oh, no, not that either. I use these scraps for everything, so. Hi, Cheatsy. One of my cats was unhappy that he was being forced to stay out of the room for a little while. Not really forced, I just had the door closed. So it looks like my son or husband just let him in because he must have been making quite a racket. Were you causing a kerfuffle, Cheeto? I have two orange ginger kitties that are brothers, and they are Cheeto and Dorito. Cheatsy and Reetsy. Really, we call Reetsy is Rito, just because he hears it better. Okay, so do let me know again if any of these fabrics look like something you absolutely have to have for your own collection. I have ADHD, so I hyperfixate on things, so usually you can say, like, my hyperfixation has made it easy for me to remember plants. Like, I can identify a lot of plants and remember their botanic names, things like that. Well, I don't know if that's my ADHD, but it's something I have. And with the fabrics, if you were to say, oh my gosh, I really loved that sheer blue ditzy, or, you know, that indie type red and black, or, you know, the red check or something, I will usually be able to remember what I put in the video without having to look back at it. Well, that is a lovely combination. Oops. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. I know this is a little bit teal rather than blue, but it definitely would work. And this one has this pretty floral embroidery on it. It's a little more sheer, but these corners make awesome corner pockets or trim. Actually, where did that little piece go? There's that little piece. Where's that little piece in this pile? Oh, there it is. Okay, so that comes up on top there. Then very pretty. Hopefully you can see that I tried to make them as even as possible in volume and variety. I can't take special requests, unfortunately, because it would be too difficult for my brain for a special request on which one of these you want. Once I package them up, they go into the shipping station, and but like I said, let me know if there were these other fabrics or something that you like, and I can try to add them to the pack that I send you, or I can create a pack special for you, depending on how much you would like. Now there is still my antique fabrics to put in here that came from the Jean and Hazel estate. I need to take a drink. Okay, I got the hanky, most of the fabrics. Now let me see how many I did. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 7 triangles and a piece of quilt block. All right, let's pick some good colors. I mean, they're all wonderful, even if they weren't exactly what we traditionally think of as, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm going to stop talking. That one has a heavy stain. I washed these again, but some of them are very stained. They're very old from what I have been told and learned in my research, like late 1800s, early 1900s. Some older than others, and mixed in were some feed sack fabrics and reproduction of feed sack fabrics, so that's the 1930s. But these, especially the indigos, are for sure very old, and like these, and when you feel them, you'd be able to tell. How many did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to call those the Jean triangles. 8 plus quilt block piece. Okay. It's so wonderful, these fabrics. This one's got stains on it. I don't mind the stains, and they're great for grungy journals. That one does 2, that one does 2. Okay, we'll take that one out. There's not as much red as there is blue in the collection. Here's a good quilt block piece, or a square at least. Maybe we'll do these. These feel starchy. I didn't starch them, but I did wash them and iron them. And they're exquisite. It's a good red. Just need a smaller red. Sometimes I'll go through and just like play with these. Not play with them, but like admire them, and then I reorganize them, and then I can't. I just mess them all up, you guys. I mess them all up. This stripe is nice too. This is like a mourning fabric, the late 1800s. Mourning, like M-O-U-R-N. Those blacks. Those are pretty too. There's just 2 of those. Maybe that's what we'll do. If you have purchased these before from me, this will be good to watch too, in case you've missed me talking about the history of some of these bits and pieces before. This might be a good one. Okay, we've got some diamonds we can put in too. Oh, here's some red. It's a good red. It's a good red too, but this other red is better, isn't it? Especially with this deep cranberry in there. The cranberry is very old also. Here's some of the feed sack. I think they are actual feed sack fabric. Some of them seem a little bit more like newer, but ooh, look at that red, white, and blue one. What do we have? 5? We should do a neutral, I think. Did I do a neutral in? Not really. I'm just looking at the picture that I have in the listing online so that I'm not misrepresenting in my pictures, but if I have to take more pictures, that takes a really long time. That one and that one. That actually might be enough, isn't it? Again, I don't want to get too crazy or it's expensive to ship. Oh, there's another one of these. 7, and then 2 of these makes the same amount as I have online. 6. Let's just see here. Take that. So that's a, I think that's a feedback. And that's a good one, isn't it? Okay. You guys can see all those.
I gotta go.
Oh. Okay. All right, so there is 1, 2, and 3. Oops. There's a lot of these, obviously. If you would like a package of them, I adore them. I love them, and I feel like I've inherited them from that estate sale. So they're very, very special to me, and they're valuable to some. So it's, I guess what I'm saying is it's sometimes hard for me to part with them. But obviously this is too much for one person. I may have big plans, of course, but I'd rather share them than they stay in a box somewhere. But I don't want to make these packages too expensive or too heavy to ship. So, and in junk journaling, you know, our main focus is, well, any kind of junk, but paper. So I try to make the packages heavy on paper, but I just have so much that I just fill them all to the brim, and I'm happy to do that. Oops. Just have to clean up a little bit, because if I don't, I'll be too exhausted after putting these together, and then I won't move on to the next thing. But I'm so happy to have you here with me doing this, because I probably would have given up a half hour ago. Honestly. Oops, I know I keep hitting my head on that. Alright, so now the question is, do I put the fabrics in such a way that they look pretty on the front of the packages, or do I do a separate little pack of fabric? Honestly, I have enough for both of those ideas, so I think this should go, this little flat pile should go in the front. At least, you know, by seeing me do this, if you get the package and it doesn't look as beautiful as it looks in the pictures online, you know, you won't be disappointed, because you could just see how hard it is for me to put it all in there. But I take special care, and you know, I love every bit of my collection that goes into these, and I hope that you will as well. And I hope you will see the love, and you know, to have a special part of the Jean and Hazel estate is really cool, I think, too. So that's pretty. There's our White House in the 90s. Bring up some nostalgia. Golly. I don't want to get political, but it's pretty terrifying. So I'm glad that we all are here to celebrate despite what's happening. Aren't they wonderful? Wait until you feel them. Like they're just, there's just some, the history is so thick in these tiny pieces of fabric. I'll be interested to hear too if you buy these and you get them and you say, oh my gosh, Liz, I now understand what you were talking about. It's so special. Ooh, that's pretty. Then, you know, I wanted to put, this was in the front of the advertisement. And maybe the doily or the gorgeous hanky. Okay, and then there was also, I have to do the ribbon still. And trim. In the advertisement, I show a bit of this in each, so, and it's hard, right? Because you see it like this and you think I want it just like that, so I can use it as a closure or something. But for me, and that's what I see when I look at it, but I'm probably never going to do that. So I'm sorry. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Oh, should I cut it? I don't know. I don't know. I did cut it. The other one that I had, I cut for the previous packages because you can use this anywhere as a piece of trim or as a belly band or as anything. Oh, okay, I'm doing it because otherwise it's just going to sit, I'm sorry, in my stash. I'm sorry. And thank you for your service. Oh, thank you. Okay. That's gorgeous, right? See the gorgeousness? Okay, I fear the bag that I have in the picture was bigger than this one, so that might be as good as I can get it without squishing everything. That was this one. Okay, and this one. It's just so pretty. Let's do this. That is so pretty. Now this one got the two rather scrappy pieces, but it got two full hankies. Still very pretty. Oh my gosh, that's pretty. That right there is gorgeous. Slow stitch all that together, in my vision, in my opinion. Let's see. Let's do this. It's like a floral arrangement. Oh, there it is. There we go. There we go. Oh my gosh, look at how pretty that is. So pretty. Ooh, I love that. Okay. That's making me feel better about the smaller bag. That's so pretty. Oops. Okay. Ooh. This, I think. So then this. And this. Gorgeous. That's gorgeous. Can she do it? Wow. I'm sorry. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I think that's so pretty, just like that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oops, this little star fell out. So pretty. Okay, I feel better about that now. Whew. Let me take a drink. Okay, ribbons. Let me look at the pictures real quickly, I think. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay, right. Okay, let's see here. I've just reorganized my ribbons too, supposedly so that I could see them better, but there is a lot. I don't know if you can identify it with this, but I didn't know how much I had until I reorganized. Okay, what else is in there? Oh, the blue. Oh, the blue polka dot is so cute. Look at that. I hope there's enough. And the dark blue rickrack. Where's that one? Here we go. And that's all of them, I think. Okay. The collecting of ribbon that I've done recently has mostly been for yellow and pink packs. It's an interesting flawed piece there. Okay, there's 1, 2, and 3. Let me make sure you can see. Yeah. I'll put it like this so you can see it in the video pretty good. I can't find this one online anywhere, but the spool says Santa Workshop. Shop with an E on the end. 25 yards, 35 cents a yard. And it's this awesome blue and pink and white floral on red, which is great for Christmas too. If you do an Americana Christmas, I saw some folks doing that last year, and that is cute too, with any of the things in this collection. And this little silky ribbon is good for tags. This one I just found recently. It's so pretty. It's off fray. And I don't think there's much of it left. That was at Goodwill. I don't have a lot of, well, I was going to say I don't have a lot of blue, but as you can see, got enough blue. Oh, that's it. The third person gets the final piece of tape. I guess I can't get that tape off of there, so I'm just going to cut it like that. Okay. And there we go, thank you. Actually, I kind of like the front of this spool, and I like to use these in my, if it'll come off easy enough, I actually make it a page in my minis. That's not going to come off though. This side might come off, but the front, the good side, doesn't look like it wants to. Sometimes I use these to reuse, string ribbon, but right now I have enough. I have enough of everything, really. There. And then I'll make that a page in one of my mini journals, which I know sounds so funny, but I love it. And my buyers seem to think it's cool too, which is fun. I don't feel alone in my creative vision. I love this one. I found this one at my local St. Vinny's also, and the tag on it was for a craft shop in Delavan, Wisconsin, I think. That is no longer. So I'm always glad to find something that, I mean, it's not like this is an odd fabric ribbon or anything, but I'm just glad to find something we might not ever see again from that particular company. Maybe this particular color. I don't know. Does that make sense? I think when I was growing up, I always wanted to be different. Like, I didn't want to wear the same fashion that everybody was wearing, and I still don't really. Sometimes I'm influenced, but maybe that's where it comes from. Like, I want my journals to be different, and the great thing about junk journals is that it's nearly impossible to get to the same. Right? And you, even if an artist created them all the same, you're going to make it different. Sometimes it says the year on here. This one doesn't say it. Usually they're from the 60s or 70s when they look like this. This is one of those like soft binding ribbons. Oh. I even thrifted these little rubber bands. They were in a jar at Goodwill. And at first I was like, I don't need a whole jar of them, but all these ribbons, I needed a whole jar of them. And I will for quite some time. They're super handy because I was pinning everything for a while. You know, putting a pin in the spools like that, but I stick my finger a lot. Now, I don't have enough of these for all of the... I thought there was a piece of tape there, wasn't there? For all of the packs. So how should I... Well, one could be red, one could be stars, and one could be this blue and gray. Is that fair? Yeah, because that's the end of that, too. I think that's so cute that this company, Crate Paper Toy Box Collection, actually made their packaging something you could use in a journal. That's fun. And smart business, I think. But it costs them extra, of course, to make packaging that looks like that. So I don't know if they're still in business. Oh yeah, that blue is nice, isn't it? Oh, very nice. Okay. And then this was also at Goodwill, a bunch of these wooden spools. I think, again, it may have been someone's expertly curated collection. But it was a lot of these wooden spools of trims. I felt like it must have come from a hobby shop or craft store that maybe went out of business, but there haven't been any stores like that near me, so I have no idea. There's a couple opening in Milwaukee. I'm very excited. It's hard. I live out in the country in like the suburbs of Milwaukee, but like way out, and I mean it would only take me maybe 40 minutes to get down to the city, 45 minutes, but I don't go very often. I don't need to, but there's a couple craft reuse stores getting ready to open or have opened now. And so this is two sizes of this, which looks like maybe Pioneer Woman, which you can get at Walmart, I think. I didn't know she had two sizes of them, which I love. So there's two sizes in each of the packages. And that's all of the ribbon for these. I think we're done. Are we done? We got our fabric, our ribbon, the quilt blocks. Yeah, okay, those look lovely. I'm excited. When I first start, I'm kind of like, oh, this isn't going to be worth the money to them, and hopefully you guys love it. Other ephemera packs like this that I make, mixed media junk journal ephemera packs, I call them. Right now I have a pink theme, a yellow theme, And I do have a blue theme, but it's not done. And I've been using so much blue in the Americana that I've not been able to finish the blue theme ones. So I think I'll give Americana like another month and then go back to putting just the blue theme up. And the pink right now is an entire pound of pink things. Similar to what I've done here, not as much in the antique realm, just because the antique stuff is more expensive for me to buy and harder for me to keep and store, and it is more valuable. And the pink pack is not priced in such a way to include so much of the antique ephemera. But I might up the price and add some, because I have some really beautiful postcards. And things that could be... Sorry, I got distracted. Postcards, antique postcards and antique papers that I could start to add to the pink. Now the pink, it does have some old, it definitely has some vintage gloriousness in it. That's too small. That's too small. Is this big enough? I don't think that's big enough. I don't know what I was talking about. I don't know. The pink pound of items is absolutely glorious. It is some vintage, some modern, all of the wonders. Okay, it's not going to go in this pack. I have more of the same size plastic. I wonder if I could tuck it into the bag. Let's try. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to try to move that up for the next one, but I'm not going to do it right now. I hate to cover that up. So maybe these fabrics will go on the back. This feels rather tight how it is. Let me just kind of map it out here. Let's see what it would look like. I could do another big... Yeah, let's just do another big pack. If you're wondering what's happening in my brain, very few people want to know what's going on in there, so I don't blame you if you don't want to know. But I'm thinking of the expense of the cello bags and the shipping and all of those things as I decide what to package the things into. And I want it to look pretty. Let's see. There is a bit of, I don't want to say stress, but, you know, concern as I'm doing these, plus I'm trying to get them out in time. But it is so fun, as you can see. I try to make a fun arrangement out of doing this. And sometimes my husband is like, if it's stressing you out, why are you doing it? But it's not stress, it's just, I mean, some of it might be fear of not doing it right, messing it up. you know, and wanting it to be perfect, even though in this hobby we embrace imperfection like no other hobby, in my opinion. Ooh, and it turns out that there's beauty, really gorgeous beauty in the imperfection of it all. Like, look at it, I just jammed all that in there and it's still absolutely gorgeous. You know, even without trying to artistically arrange it, it's gorgeous. But that's what I get caught up on, is the time that it takes also. Obviously, junk journal creators are not making money for their time always. And I'm not trying to say that I should make more money or anything like that, but we are thinking of that as we're doing these things, is all of those pieces come into how we put these things together. And I'm not trying to pat my own back. I'm really not. I'm just blabbing on. I don't know. I don't know now. I just love this blue. It's pretty, isn't it? Especially when you know what's in it. Oh, did I miss this one? No, that goes with that. Okay. Okay. All right. Closing it up. I like that. Oh, did this one lose its sticky? Did I took the sticky off too? Excellent. All right, so we got to come up with a sticker. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of goodies, isn't it? Let me try to not take the sticky off with this. Okay, so it's a 2-package pack. I need to stick something on there. What will it be? What will it be? Something strong enough to hold. And also Americana. Oh, I know. Let's see. See if I can find it. Here we go. This was at a craft reuse store in Rochester, Minnesota, where my sister and I just went. And not completely my, like, aesthetic, but perfect for this situation, isn't it? There. And I have to get the air out so that they go into shipping packages. Does anyone else walk around with like an entire spool of thread practically stuck to all of their clothing? Okay, this is very, very cute. I'm very excited to put these in stock. So what did I do? I put it all in another honestly, when I started this video, I did not think this would take quite this long, but like I said, I would have given up a while ago, so I'm really glad that you're here. Glad I decided to film, because it just helps me. I think it's an ADHD thing, but you know, to imagine that there's someone out there watching and hoping that I finish and hoping to find out how it ends or how it turns out, you know. And it's so funny because before I retired from my day job, my day job, I was a salesperson, and I mean, I didn't have to put together packages like this. I was selling plants, trees, and things like that, so I did hope that they were dug from the field or that they were grown to a size that I wanted to sell and that sort of thing. So I had to, but let's see, the point of this story is that at that time in my life, you know, finishing something in order to sell it was enough of a dopamine hit in my ADHD brain, I guess. Although I wish I could go back and talk to them about how I was ADHD. I didn't know it. Late diagnosed. But anyway, my ADHD now, I mean, with age and things like that, it's like my decision making has changed so much, you know, and having kids and how the time of your day changes when you don't have a 9-to-5, that sort of thing is all part of it. Plus, you know, being your own boss affects how you organize your time. But I'm just always surprised by how my lack of normal functioning executive decision making today is so different than it was at one point in my life. It feels like. I don't know if that just made sense at all. I hope so. So yeah, the dopamine hit for me before used to be, is the tree doggone time? And can I sell 30 trees to the city of Chicago for this project? You know, like that kind of thing is what kept me motivated. And so now to be depending on myself to get the product finished in order to get the dopamine hit of selling it, it's a different kind of sales. Ooh, these are so pretty. There's 2 of them done. It's feeling good to get this done. That is a dopamine hit, I'll tell you that. So let's see, hopefully my phone is still running. We are low on battery, so I'm gonna have to film the flip through of my personal journal in another in a different video, which I will do as soon as my phone recovers its battery. Oh no, why does this pile seem... Oh, never mind. There we go. So I love that when I share about my ADHD struggles that, you know, some of you have reached out to say that you know, that you feel that you have experienced something similarly. And so, yeah, please continue to share that. I love that this can be a safe space for that conversation as well, I hope. And but yeah, you can message me on Etsy also if you want a more private message. Like you don't have to be a customer. You could just go to my shop and it'll say message seller. And that will send me a little note. And you can say, you know, I saw you on YouTube and I, you know, wanted to ask you how you get through this. Or, I mean, not that I'm no professional. I'm just a human. But I love to talk. I need to talk. And filming this and talking about it is part of my therapy and prescription. My therapeutic prescription. So I need it. And it seems like maybe it could be helping someone else too. So hopefully, be not afraid. This hobby is for all of us. Okay, there was a little bit of soapbox there. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Oh my goodness. Every one is just as beautiful as the one before it. This one, I have this really tall floral in again. I have to cut it down a little bit more just to fold it in our package. get that without bending it. Here we go. Oof. Perfect. Okay. Now I should tie them with twine. Pardon my wonky twine tape situation. It's hard to keep this unruly stuff at bay. But I want to tie it, not to overcomplicate it, but I am afraid both those packages are so pretty by themselves that I'm afraid I will lose which one goes with which. And I don't want to accidentally send one out without its partner. Do I have enough twine? I always forget how to do this. Oh, my stomach just yelled at me. My first jobs, not my very first job, but my first job in the green industry was at retail garden centers. And in the winter, we would make, wreaths. We would decorate them, and I learned how to make really big decorative bows and they were pretty, and I can still do them sometimes, but my fingers don't want to. My fingers have trouble, and my brain doesn't always remember. Let's see. Do I want that to go under it? Yep. Okay. Okay. Oop, I don't want it to bend that too much. There we go. So then you get some primitive twine with it as well. Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye on this, and thank you so much for helping me. And I'll be back in a little bit to do my personal junk journal flip through and the beginning of making my next personal. And yeah, thank you. Love you guys. Bye.